Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at, whenever you're watching this video. Hey, thanks for joining in on this new coin roll hunt. And I'll put in the summary, I did initially a full box of bank wrapped rolls of pennies, looking to see what they had and was going to compare them to a full box of customer wrapped rolls. So I was able finally to get to the bank that they had all of these. And what's even more interesting, I definitely don't know what I'm going to expect. But take a look at this. All the rolls, whoever did this, put in tape at the end. So I don't know, is this a coin roll hunter? Is this just a person who is clearing out their penny jar? Because I've got $25, 50 rolls that all are taped at the end. And I haven't taken a look. I'll just do this real quick with you. You never know what you're going to find with taped. I mean, who still tapes their penny rolls? I haven't seen this in ages. That's a dirty but modern. Let's see what this side has. So I don't know what we're going to get out of this. This could be good. This could be bad. Who knows? And that's a shield at that end, so that's definitely a modern. Let's dig down here, grab another one. These tape wrap rolls are just going to drive me nuts. But it could be a good sign. Let's look at that. That is a modern. That's a 2007. And so this is going to be my fun challenge over the next several days as I do this. This is just going to be a couple seconds for you. And it's looking a little bit darker, but that is a memorial sent in there. So we'll see what we have. This might be just somebody's penny jar that finally got rolled up, wrapped together, but that's what we're looking at. Got 50 rolls, and I'll bring you in for any adventures along the way. All right, folks, it took us to roll number 10 before we found anything of interest. So I thought I'd bring you in for a summary for all 10 rolls. First, our first wheat. Look at that. That is fine condition. Pretty good condition overall. Focus issues aside. And that is a 1956. But let's flip screens here. I always look for here is take a look at that. 1956. And look at that. That's the D over D. Very clear. You can see the backside of the D here. Little doubling. So 1956. Denver. D over D. Let's get that one turned back off. Maybe. There we go. So yeah. 1956. D over D. It's a pretty fine, very fine condition. A little bit dirty, but I will at least get that into a flip. Of our other finds, we had a lot of Canadian here. Move that there. So if you could look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Canadians. We have a 19, let's adjust the light here, there we go, 1966 Canadian. That's the young head of Elizabeth. We have a 1979 young head. We have a 1982, a little gunk on the side that's got that nice decagonal, how many ever sided edge that is, rather than the round reading. We have 1984 modern Canadian. It's always funny when we say modern, considering they stopped making these in 2012, and look at that, we got 2011. That was the most recent Canadian. So some pretty good years for the Canadians. We also had a couple 2009, and that is a Philadelphia and a Philadelphia, and that one's just very dirty on that one. Look at that. But that is the formative years. So good 2009s. We also have the presidency of the 2009, and that is a Philly as well. Still dirty, circulated, but good finds nonetheless. And then we also pulled out here 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, dirty, circulated, fingerprinted, all 2024, and they're all Denvers. So some of those, look at that, they've seen better days, but they are the 2024s. No errors, no doublings, no extra V's on that. So there is our first 10 rolls, but that pride and joy, the D over D 1956. And I'll start on the next 10 and bring you in for any finds along the way. All right, folks, we're on just finished roll 25, halfway through the box, and I thought I'd bring you back in, and this is definitely a Canadian box. Not too many. We got as far back as 1961. Very young Queen Elizabeth there. We got 1963. 1964. A little hard to see. That one's a bit dirty. We got a 1965. 1972. And 1974. Getting more recent now. We're getting our 1980s. We got 2 from 1981. One very dirty. Toned up there nicely. We have a 1983. 1989. We only had one from the 1990s. That's a 1999. And we did have a 2001. So those are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 Canadians. Of the U.S. coins, we did have 4 2024, all of which are the Denver Mint. Nice, good conditions, and lower mintage on those. We had a dirty 2009 formative years, and that one is Philadelphia. And we did have one Wheatie in those last rolls, and that is a dirty 1949. Little corrosion going on there, but a wheat scent nonetheless. So that's it, halfway through the box. You want to get going on the other half, and I'll bring you back in for any finds along the way. All right, folks, here we are on roll number 35, bringing you in for these couple coins here. I think I got them all in order here. We got a couple more Wheaties in this roll. We have a 1954 Denver. That is just your standard wheat. We have a... Oh, nope, not that one. This one. We have another Wheatie. 1951 Denver. And our final wheat of this roll is a 1944. Standard years, not the best of condition. Of our other coins amongst those 3 finds in these last 5 rolls, yeah, 5 rolls, we did have 4 more Canadians. We have 1973, oh, hard to read there, 1983, dark, dirty, a decent, 1989, and a damage there, but I'm guessing that is a 1999 Canadian cent. So 5 more Canadians and 3 wheats in the last 5 rolls. So I'll bring you back in for the next finds. All right, folks, figure this is a great time to stop because of this coin here, but this is also 10 rolls left. So That's what, roll number 40 here. And look what just came up. That is King George the Sixth. So that's an oldie. Always nice to see a King George. It is Canadian here, 1944. So that's an oldie for sure. 1944 King George. Beautiful coin to find in these customer wrapped rolls. Of the other finds up to this point here, we got 3 rows I started here, all Canadian. That is a lot of Canadians and older ones. We got that 1957, and that goes back to Queen Elizabeth, her young portrait there, younger years. We have a very dirty, beat up 1963. We have a 64, dirty and corroded. We have a decent 1968. 1969, common theme here, good years here in the early 60s, and we have one very dirty and one decent 1970. Then we get into the 80s, and we have 2 from 1980. Both those are in pretty circulated condition. These Canadian cents tend to tone differently than American. It's always interesting to see the difference. But 1981, we got 280s, 281s. We got an 83 that's starting to show some patina and some corrosion there. We have a 1986, decent condition. We have a 1987, which again, there's that famous green corrosion. And we have a 1989. Now we're jumping, nothing in the 70s. We jump from 1970 to 1980. Then we have in the 90s, we got 2, one dirty, one decent, 1991. We have a 1993 fair condition, and we got a nice, brilliant 1998. So I'll double check those on my Canadian small cent albums. I don't believe any of those are going to be book fillers. Of the American finds, we did finally find. Wouldn't be a Lincoln cent hunt without a dime. So it's nice to see. 1992. Denver diamond there. We got a dirty 2009 formative years, and that is Philadelphia mint. That is really beaten up. I might throw that one back in circulation, as this one as well. It's a 2009, very corroded, very dirty, and that's the Denver mint presidency. Especially considering these, I'll pick up carefully, these might actually be fillers or upgrades for me. I mean, look at that. There's a little bit of spotting on that. That's his presidential years. Philly, brilliant condition. And we got the same thing here with the presidency. A little fingerprinting you can see on that, but for the most part, this is also Philadelphia. These are just brilliant, stunning conditions. So those are actually, I might actually put those in flips if they're not upgrades. And in these last 15 rolls, we only had one wheat cent. And that wheatie is 1946. So the 2 finds in these last 15 rolls, 1946 wheat cent and a 1944 Canadian cent. Brilliant finds, and I'll bring you back in at the end of these next 10 rolls. All right, I finished up those last 10 rolls. There was only one more wheat cent and a couple miscellaneous finds, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to bring you up for the end here, and I just don't have a wide enough zoom to show everything here, but let me just pan out so you guys can see a little bit better. These are all the finds from this box hunt, and I will compare it to my bank wrapped box as well. Not as many coppers, but I will say of the copper scents, these are, I'll say, more standard for what I normally see. I did have 5 from 1959. Those are the last year, or the first year of the memorial scents. We did have 95 from the 1960s. 1970s are always our largest group. We had 299, and that I probably had more because I have a couple down here. And then we had 127 from 1980, 81, 82s. I did weigh all my 82s just to make sure I keep the copper here, and the zinc went back on the other side. These two rows, this is where we really differentiate. These two rows are all Canadian scent. Now that could be, it's customer wrapped, and I am in a border state with Canada, so we still see a lot, and obviously I do mean a lot of Canadian scent, so I'm not going to bring them all up, except for maybe this first one, and because that's still a pride and joy on here, is a King George VI. This is 1944, so that's a nice oldie for the Canadian scents. Outside of that, the youngest year we have here is a 1957, and that is a young head. Now, let's take a look at all of this, though. So those are those two. We have 1961, 1963, 64. So we had 261s, 263s, 264s, 65, 66. No bird scents. That's the 67, which is strange for me. 68, 69, 70. 72, 73, 74, and 279. So this whole upper row, there we go. This whole upper row is 50s, 60s, and 70s. Of our 80s to date, we have 1980, 4 81s, 82, 383, 84, 86, 87, 389s, 291s, 93, 95, 98, 399s, 1 2001, and 1 2011. So if anybody wants to look at starting a copper scent collection, I got a good start for you here just in this customer wrapped box as well. Of the other finds here, we did have our one dime to be expected. We have 1970. I did keep this separate. There's a 70S. We had a 71S, and I got to check my book. If this is not an upgrade, it's going in a flip. Look at that 1974 Shiner, and that is San Francisco Mint. But that is just an absolute beautiful coin, 1974. So if that's not an album upgrade, that's definitely a flip. Of our 2009s, we had 4 formative years, most of which were uglies. That's a good one. And yeah, those are all dirty and corroded. Put that best one on top. So we had 4, all from the Philadelphia Mint. We had 1 Philadelphia of the professional life, 2 Philadelphias, again, nice here, decent condition of the presidency, and 1 dirty Denver Mint 2009 presidency. I'll also throw out here, because I did check my album, they weren't upgraders, but I definitely felt they needed to be flipped, were these 2009 Philadelphia. These were the brilliant, almost uncirculated, so I'm going to say a BU
Professional Life and Presidency. So I did put those in flips to go with our 2009s. And we also had a stack 8 2024, all from the Denver Mint. Let's see here. From our wheat cents, if I can get this, I'll just drop a bunch of things as I try moving over here. And let's just zoom out. There we go. There's our Wheaties. Not as many Wheaties as I was hoping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And mostly modern. So we have here a 1944, fair condition. 1946, a little bit of staining on that one. None of these are spectacular conditions. 1949, all those were Phillies. We have a 1951 Denver. We have a 1953 Denver and a 1954 Denver. So all common years, none of the errors or varieties in those. However, if you can recall, I'll throw this one over just again. There we go, is we have this 1956. Let's get good focus in on that. And if you take a close look at, get that glare out of there, take a close look at that D, we have a 1956 D over D mint error, repunched mint mark. So nice find in this hunt as well. So let's close out that, bring you back out here, better focus. All right, so now what I'm going to do is just sort of recap the bank wrapped rolls, because that's the whole point that I was doing, was comparing a full box of bank wrapped rolls to a full box of customer wrapped rolls. So the bank wrapped rolls have 37.5% copper, and in this hunt, the customer wrapped rolls, we only had 23% copper, so significantly higher. And you could check out that bank wrapped roll videos a couple videos back. But yeah, we had a lot, and that was unusually a lot. 37.5% copper is a lot of copper that I see in cents. Usually it's right around the 25% range. So the 23 in this hunt, more common for me. In this hunt, I didn't count, but let's do this real quick. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I thought I did count this. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25, 6, 7, 8, 30, 33, 4, 5, 6, 40. We had 48 Canadian in the customer wrapped, and we only had 2 in the bank wrap. So a lot more Canadian, much more expected with customer wrapped rolls out in my area. Our bank wrapped rolls had 11 2009, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 2009 in this, so pretty even there. In our bank wrapped rolls, we had 5 2024s, and in here we have 8. So again, very close. In the bank wrapped rolls, we had 10 wheat, and in here we had 6 Wheaties. So, fair. We did have the dime in the customer wrapped rolls. In the bank wrapped rolls, I did have that 1969 no FG, and in the customer wrapped rolls, I have that 1956 D over D. I did not look at any of the 69s for the no FGs. A lot of the 69s weren't in the best condition here. I'll look at those later, but that is a common variety to find. So that is the battle. Overall, depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for Canadian, go with my customer wrapped rolls in this area. You'll see a lot more Canadian. If you're looking for capper scents, I'm going to lean to the bank wrapped rolls. Either way, hunting pennies can be fun. It's a long process. There's a lot to look for with these, but I enjoyed doing this as two different videos. So thank you for watching at the end. Add those comments if you have a preference of customer wrapped versus bank wrapped rolls. I do lean towards customer wrapped rolls when it comes to scents. Again, I just find I think I get more wheats varieties with the Canadian. I did have early, you'll have to go way back my playlist. I did have a lot of Indian heads show up more in customer wrapped rolls than I did in these bank wrapped rolls. So it all just depends on what you're looking for and what kind of adventure you want to have. So as always, guys, thanks for joining in. If you're liking these videos, if you're liking these adventures of mine, hey, support me, give me those thumbs up, click that subscribe button, post those comments below, give me your opinions and thoughts. Always enjoy reading the comments. And until the next time, guys, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, and happy hunting.